Drivetime Radio with New York Vinnie.
On this week's edition of Yo, Vinnie, what are you driving this week? What about the show?
Yo, Vinnie, what are you driving this week?
Have a little fun. It is a fun day here out at
You're listening to Drive Time Radio.
Remember, just plug in. I'm ready.
Yes, you do have to keep things moving and grooving if you want to do a radio show. And that's what we try to do here every Saturday morning, just after 11 o'clock. A very good Saturday morning to you. I'm New York Vinnie, host of this little program that we put on every week. And we try for the next hour or so to keep you entertained and informed about the automotive world. What's going on in it, who's leaving, who's coming, what car brands are staying, and so much more. And it's frankly kind of exciting. Exciting to put it together every week, exciting to do, exciting to plan out what I want to present to you on the show. And at the end of the day, excited about getting all of the information to you, finding it, mining it, everything like that. So that's what we do. We do that every week. We are brought to you by my good friend, George Jackson. Please, if you are looking for business specialties, organizational specialties, things like T-shirts, jackets, calendars, anything that keeps a business or a nonprofit organization rolling as far as getting your name out to the public, George is an expert at it. He does it great. He's not running around with a bag full of excuses. He's running around with a bag full of solutions to get your particular business moving and grooving so that you can keep your customers happy and keep your name in front of them for a long time. How do you get a hold of George? GJPromo.com. Or GJ Promo on Facebook or on any of the socials. We'll get you to George. And please tell him that we sent you, that you heard about us through the program. So if you want to wait to do that till we end the show, a little bit early this week than usual, but we will do that. We always appreciate it because your support, your ability to support our show is how we are able to bring you the show. It's a very simple equation. And we don't ask you for a dime to pay for the show. So, Michael and the crew that we have on the weekdays and myself and the crew that we have on the weekends with Drive Time together are always grateful in that you support our show by listening, by tapping the buttons to say like and subscribe, and all the other things. If you can do that for us, we really always appreciate it. All right, been a somewhat busy week in automotive, and as I said, we have a little bit of a shorter show today, so it might be a little hard to get into everything, but I'll try to give you at least, the main stuff that has been taking up the space in the world that is not automotive. I mean, it's not soccer, I should say. I got that one backwards. See, I tried to have a funny line there, and I screwed it up. Soccer has taken over the main lines of everything. Nobody seems to care anything more about automotive stuff that's going on. Everybody's heads are into soccer. Ooh, did you see it? Well, luckily I live in a place that, although at first blush could be somewhat deceiving, you may think that soccer is running the world. Now, I was not in San Francisco last night or in Seattle or in any place that had the games, but I was in was in a place where they were celebrating a victory the night before, which is Canada. And they beat somebody the night before, and they went out and they celebrated the victory in Vancouver. And from what I could see on TV, and most of it seemed like it was an okay celebration, a little out of hand. It's early in the tournament, but a lot of people here, of course, like Canada's chances to beat whoever they're facing next. But they did it justly so, and so none of the fun of the proceedings bothered them. It seemed to be fairly, and as I say again, I'm not everywhere. I haven't seen everything, but just the vibe you get is that people were happy that Canada won up here, and it's hopefully that they're going to continue for a while. Same thing in America, in the United States. People are happy they won. They're glad they won their first game. They'll go to a second game today, or second set in the series. See, I'm not all that familiar. I know that it works in pools and everything like that. Just suffice it to say that Canada, the United States, all still in it. I did not see the celebration in Seattle last night or yesterday, so I don't have any information on that. But listen, soccer fans like to celebrate. They like to celebrate, and with the people that run those teams, the owners, the different people that are in charge of getting people in their seats and getting all the players to the stadium on time, seems to have been doing a great job. I don't think we've thrown but one person out of the country, right? If I'm not mistaken. So that's good on their part. All right, as I just spoke about a second ago, and I don't know if you saw the promo, but I am not in the United States. I am in Canada. I got an opportunity to come up to Lower BC to go do something that I have always wanted to do. And this happened all quite suddenly. And so I am up here in British Columbia. And we'll give you a few little details on that a little bit later. But I think the end result of what I was up here to do will turn out to be fun for you as well as me. One of the things that I did yesterday is started to look around and, check out the lay of the land as much as you could. And in doing that, I got a chance yesterday to do something I've wanted to do for a long time. And that is drive the Coquihalla Highway, which is Route 5 for most people that live around here. But the Coke is what they call it, the Coquihalla. It's a gorgeously scenic highway that runs from down there all the way up there. Runs from Hope, BC, all the way up past Merritt, BC. And if you're a fan of, I forget which particular show, but it's this gorgeous highway that runs inland and gets you to towns like Lake La Biche and all of these different interior towns, all the way up to the oil fields, and passes through some of the most incredible scenery, some of the most heart-wrenching scenery that you'll ever see. No matter whether your thoughts of why are bears like that are coming from their TV shows or storybooks or word of mouth or whatever, the place is beautiful. It has, it's the Fraser River Canyon, and that is one of the most incredibly gorgeous faces areas on Earth, and I don't think a lot of people explore it from Seattle. I don't see a lot of out-of-state plates on it, out-of-province plates. But it's in that place that you look at, and you're going up there and you say, man, what a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. What a time that we live in to be able to have the mobility in cars to go and enjoy this stuff, where we don't have to just see it on TV. You don't have to, I mean, you get in your car, this is 2.5 hours from New York City. Excuse me, from Seattle. I got I still got the celebrations on my mind from the Knicks. But you're 2.5 hours from Seattle. And it's just the more you look at a place, the more I looked at it, the more incredibly beautiful it became. As you just are stunned by the ability to drive through this highway. I think it's relatively new. I think it was opened in the late '60s. And it's a beautiful, nice 4-lane in most places. Goes out to 6 and others freeway. Very well maintained. If BC does one thing good, they really take care of their highways, avalanche control, rock slide control, all the different things that can happen to a highway. The BC Highway Department really stays on top of it. The infrastructure, all of the stuff that you want when you're driving a nice car, even when you're driving a big car and going up into the mountains, they take care of. Another thing that they have really taken care of is the electric cars. I am driving, I'll show you pictures of it in just a little bit, a Ford Mustang Mach-E GT with the rally package. Now that makes this little Mustang go far beyond what you would expect if you've read everything about the Mustang E. They've added a rally package onto this thing that, believe it or not, lets you take it off-road. Gives you some protection from somebody, from the elements destroying the car. And as we've talked about, I think we talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago when I had the Trail Seeker from Subaru. People are starting to get back into electric. They're starting to see it not just as a mode of transportation, but this car is clearly designed to take off-road. Clearly designed to take this into the woods, the forest, and get up close with different places that you might normally not want to take an electric car, or really any car. But the combination of the taking the car up into the wilderness, the idea that you are being an environmentalist and that you are saving the planet both money and time for taking his car up there. And that, as we've said on the program many times before, is that it's designed so that you can enjoy this quietness as you get into nature. Whether you don't have the rumbling engine and the exhaust and this and that, you just have this little Mustang that's charting its way up through desert roads, and it's, I should say forest roads. And with every mile you go in, you start to realize nobody's listening. Nobody's you're not disturbing animals. I have to think even a bear hears a pickup or a four-wheel drive big Jagunda thing with the loud mufflers and everything. They got to get scared. They don't know what's going on. But with the smaller electric cars and the ones that are engineered for some range, all of a sudden you've got this ability to go up into nature and not disturb them and enjoy this vehicle. You don't have to bother the animals or the birds or the bees or whatever you run into up there, and you can still have your fun. And the Ford Mustang Mach-E Rally Edition, besides being a car that looks like it's fun set up for rallies, gives you the ability to do that. Gives you the ability to put the gearing such that you can get up through some tough spots, some hot spots, and gives you the range, all of that kind of stuff. So you have the combination of the incredible highway, the Coca-Cola, the incredible car, this Mustang Rally GT, Mustang Mach-E Rally GT, which is a great car to drive. The ability of a medical wanting to sit in the hot spring water, which they always say, go take the waters, it'll be good for you. And so the direction indicated was Canada. Oh, and also I wanted to see if I could get a buzz or a vibe feeling on what people were thinking about the Chinese cars coming up here in the not too distant future, less than a year. I wanted to see if that was something that was on people's minds. So that's part of the gig today, is to get out and to explore that a little bit. Right before we get into the film and the pictures and stuff, a couple of news items that I wanted to bring. We've got more information from Slate, which is the small electric pickup company that is coming out. Remember, they were coming out with a car that was going to be under $25,000 or about $25,000 and designable in a number of different ways that you could get it from with nothing to with a bunch of stuff, and it's still slated to jump into our this electric truck for under $30,000 and drive it away. And then if you wanted to customize it, you want to put options on it, you want to put a roof, full roof on it to make it like an SUV, better tires, better wheels, better this, better that. You wanted to wrap it. You have all those options. Well, a Slate is becoming closer to production, and I saw some numbers this week on things like what's it going to cost me, Vinnie? Well, according to what I have seen, and I've not been able to confirm all of this, but this vehicle is going to be hitting the streets in the not too distant future, which probably means by the end of the year. And probably the cheapest one you're going to be able to buy, going to be able to order from Slate will be 20, what did they say coming out? Oh, yeah, I wrote it down here in my bad handwriting. You're probably looking between transportation and everything else, probably in the $35,000 range. So that's, again, a far cry from what the manufacturer says that the car is going to be and what the car actually is. If you want a modified or a standard stock Slate, crank windows and everything, expect to pay over 30, under 35 for it, delivery and everything. And the setting is when a person does that in the fever, just in a situation to, I don't know, to uh, advertise one thing and the reality be something else. And I just, it's bothersome to me. I mean, I still think the truck's a great idea. And many industry experts said to me, and they can't do it. They're not going to pull this off for under $35,000 or $40,000, similar to the Ford Maverick. Great idea. You weren't going to pay over $29,000 for it, but the reality is, it is a great idea. It's a great truck, and it's going to be and is over $30,000. Again, we're talking about just this idea that manufacturers can do what they want to do, and many times it seems that way. I'm still going to reserve judgment on the slate. I have my reservation in for one. I want to see what happens with this company. I seem to feel like there's some slippage here. If you want to find out more about them, go to slate, SLATE.com, and they will be able to help you out and get you in the right direction. I hope this isn't a bomb. I mean, I think this truck is a truck that people that want a small truck to use in an urban environment, that want a strong small truck to use to go to flea markets, to go to all these different types of places where a truck is the answer for what they need, but yet they can't because there isn't one. They got to go buy a Jagunda, you know, I don't know, Toyota Tacoma or an S10, Colorado, whatever there's no small truck. And hopefully they'll be successful, and they'll find a profit center in making a small truck that people can comfortably drive and move around the street. And it's not going to plant them back $25,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 for a truck that is too big for their needs. This is scaling it down, sizing it down to fit a market. Hopefully, it will be successful. I'm all for them. I'm rooting for them. I think they got a wonderful idea here. I think it's an idea that I've had for many years. Is where did these trucks go? Where did the El Caminos go? The trucks, the cars that were smaller. People don't need an incredibly large truck to do a lot of the small jobs that they do. So we'll see how it works out. I'm wishing them the best. The other thing that was on the news is the President of the United States met with some automotive dealers recently. And, the dealers are trying to push through what you would classify as fight to repair laws. Nowadays when people buy a car, mostly a used car, and they are into maintaining it themselves, they still like to sit back, look around, talk to people, wrench on the car themselves. It gives them a feeling of accomplishment, makes them feel like, hey, I can change some spark plugs, or I can change this, or I can change that. And so I'm ready to, start my own car company. What the heck? I can fix one. May as well be able to build one. But the reality is for years and years and years, it's been going on, from the Saturday afternoon tune-up to the idea that you take the toolkit out on Saturday and go with your friends under the shade of a tree somewhere It romantically goes, fix your car, or put a set of headers on it, or do the things to the car that personalize it, make it yours. Some people don't ever want to touch that. That's why gas stations and garages exist. But there's some people that get an incredible sense of pride, an incredible sense of this is what we do. We work on our cars. That's why we're. So the dealers, predominantly from Ford and General Motors, have said that they don't want to give the information up to the shade tree mechanic, the guys that make the plug-in machine with the codes. Their ability to fix a car wouldn't be effective if they gave that information out, except that a lot of people think that if they gave that information out, who would ever take their car to a dealer again? Who would ever be able to get their car repaired by this guy who you know for years? You used to buy his gas from when he had gas pumps. Now he doesn't have gas anymore. But you still go there and you go and get the evening paper or from whoever they got to get it from. But the federals and many states want to pass bills that say that is not supposed to be. You can't do that. Only one that can fix a car is a certified mechanic or a person who has demonstrated proficiency in working on that car, getting the codes. The this is bipartisan by Repair Act, which is House of Representatives 1566 and Senate Bill 1379, has the support of 85% of Trump voters as well as 86% of Democratic voters. Numbers are higher if you ask people if they should be able to choose their own repair shop instead of taking the car back to a dealer or have access to their own vehicle. 88% of people said that we should have that right to repair our own car. The Repair Act is what they're calling it. Independent garages and home mechanics should have dealer-level access to the critical performance data produced by today's connected automobiles. Automakers want to keep that state of the car information for themselves. They don't want to let that out. Now, it used to be you get that thing, or still is actually, you get that thing, you plug it in, and it gives you all the information. But now with over-the-air updates, that piece of plastic that you plug into that thing gives you the ability to see into that car, to look into that car's history, to look into that car's problems, to look into what caused that car's problems deeper and for a longer time than a normal guy taking a guess by looking at the numbers. Well, what's the history on the car? Did it ever have this update? Did it ever have that? Did they actually do it because of the recalls? Or did they not try hard enough to find the people in that recall? So this is going to be an issue that you're going to have to watch. And I'll keep an eye on it. But it's something that you need to keep an eye on, because the day may eventually come where you will not be able to repair your car. It will be illegal for you to repair your car. Now, the flip side of the coin here is that there's a guy, and I think it's Wyoming or somewhere, And this guy, what he has done is he goes out and he disconnects all of the fog, all of the smog, and all of the environmental regulation hardware and software that he can on his car. So he has, I think the article said he had 10 diesel trucks. And that pretty much, while he's driving around that neighborhood, particles of diesel waste and so on and so forth are going into the air and they're going into your lungs. So you get better gas mileage, you get more power out of the vehicle, but at what cost? A few years on your life? And is that something that really needs to be looked at? I think it does. I think when you see that black smoke billowing out of the back of some pickup truck because the guy disconnected or monkeyed with the emission stuff, that over a period of time, he has committed a serious crime. You gotta, you can't let that go. So we'll keep you updated on what's happening. That again, if you want to look it up, there's it's the best way to keep up on this if you're looking to do it in a more serious manner is to keep your eye on the Detroit Free Press. They have a lot of people that are assigned to this particular because they're in Detroit, and it's really not a bad idea to keep an eye on their news department too. They've already cleared one no, it wasn't cleared, it was pardoned. The guy with the 10 diesel trucks was got a year's jail sentence for doing that and was pardoned after serving 3 months of it by the President of the United States of America. So something for you to keep your eye on. All right. I wanted to get to the punch up the this car that I'm driving this week. This Yo Vinnie, what are you driving this week car? Because I think it's as I said before, it's the Mustang Mach-E, which I love this car. I mean, I loved it anyway. You know that I was a big fan of this car. So you know that yes, I'm a large fan of this car. And I just think that it's one of those cars that, it's not for everybody. But boy, if you can get your hands on one, you're going to have a jolly good time in this car. Especially if you like to do things like go off-road, go bird watching, go finch watching, whatever you like to go and do off the road, this car has a seat for you in it. So, anyway, this is it. It's the Mach-E Rally. It starts at about $65,000, and I just think that it's. I fell in love with this thing. Where are you? Get in here. There you go. There we go. Mach-E Rally. It's got a dual motor setup, gives you 480 horsepower, 700 pound-feet of torque. Goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. I got everything in my head in kilometers here. In just 3.5 seconds. And it has a 91 kilowatt hour battery that will charge your vehicle up on a full charge and get you about 265 miles of range, according to Ford Canada. What they've also included in this vehicle with this rally package is 1-inch suspension lift, Magnaride adaptive shocks, underbody shielding over those motors, so that when you're bumping around and doing the drifts and everything that people love to do that buy these kind of cars, the motor is shielded. You're essentially not going to rip out a beautiful electric motor that would render the car useless for you. Instead, these things will bounce off the shield of that wheel, of that shroud, I should say, that skid plate, and allow you to keep on going. The 19-inch Michelin tires that are on there are do a nice job on the road and handling of this car. Also, if I can see where we are here in this thing quickly, let's just see. There's got to be some more. Also, what's really neat about this car is the special package, the rally package that they talk about, also gives you this spoiler in the front and this cladding in the grill area with extra fog lights in it, so that you can enjoy it. But also, that cladding in the front protects rocks and stuff from kicking up on it. You still got to put some kind of bra on it, but Ford thought about this. It's kind of cool looking that they put the lights in it, the fog lights, so it gives you again an extra perspective. Something else that was really cool that Ford does that I love on this vehicle is they have the Blue Cruise. And if you want a spectacular highway driving experience, if you want to get to the place that you're going to drive your car off-road with Blue Cruise, take it, test drive one or something. And if you're in the market for this kind of thing, this kind of car, and check it out. It stops wonderfully. The ride height adjusts wonderfully. It stops because it has bimbo brakes front and rear, and all of the electric magnetic suspension. I think this is derivative of something that they had on the Vet many years ago when they first started with these things. Is a godsend. It adjusts the suspension and puts the power where you need it to get over things like rocks, to go on gravel roads and not be a bother. You're not slipping all over the place. The car is doing the majority of the work for you when it comes to measuring, thinking, and going through these road conditions. Special wheels on this vehicle as well, and a great rear spoiler. If you remember the rear spoiler from the Focus that I showed you a few years ago, I thought that was, I thought, and it didn't get in the way. It doesn't look outrageous. It has a, it's black on a black roof. You can hardly see the thing except when you look for it. And there it's there in all its grooving. The Michelin Cross Climate 2 tires, all seasons, do a nice job of balancing on the road, off the road. Does a spectacular job. They also have a drive mode, Rally Sport drive mode. Adjust the throttle responses that are tailored for off-road loosens traction control parameters. This way it allows you to drift and slide where positions, where conditions permit. I think it's one of the most fun cars I've driven all year. It's kind of in that same kind of class that the Ioniq 5 their rally machine. And I thought that was the best I had driven, but this, if not comes close to it, beats it. The drive modes are designed, and I love how they unbridled and eco, but they're designed for driving a car, not to outshine everybody that they're driving, but to outshine anything you've ever driven before. It's spectacular at that. This is an awesome little Mustang. For anybody who didn't think that when they came out with the Mustang in this SUV form, that it wasn't going to be worth it, get it and drive this one. And again, I have not taken it to the off-road park yet. That'll come this week on Monday or Tuesday. We'll get to take it out there and test it. But it was just this beautiful experience in driving this car. And I was glad that I got a chance to do it. And glad that I'll be able to tell you more about it, a complete review in a future edition of Drivetime Radio. Now, I know, like I said, we were on a little bit of a short schedule today, so I got to wrap things up quickly. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a little taste here, if I can find it, of the Coca-Cola. And hopefully, by next week, we'll have this whole little thing put together. Now, for a couple of you who have been asking and talking about the Coca-Cola and saying, where do I know that name from? No, where do I know that name from? If you are one of those people that the name is familiar to you because you may have watched Highway to Hell. You know, Jamie Davis and the tow truck guys to go up there. Well, of course, I'm a fan of that show. And that's how I found out about the Coca-Cola. Went up to the Coca-Cola. I said, I always got to go up and drive this thing. Not in the winter when it's as crappy, but in the summer. And so this weekend, I got a chance to go up and spend a little time there. And it was a great venture. I really was taken back with the whole trip. The whole trip just really did the trick for me. So we'll have it. We'll have that coming up. You know, we'll do that in next week's drive time. Okay. And then we'll have a little trip and we can narrate some more things about the Coke and the Coca-Cola Highway and tell you more about the experience of going up there. So that's something worth hanging out. All right. That's going to do it for this edition of Drive Time. I'm going to wrap things up, as I said earlier. We'll be back with you next Saturday morning at 11 o'clock or just after 11 o'clock on all our socials. Please like and subscribe to our little show here. And also, please, be nice to each other. It's the time that the world could. And congratulations to all the graduates that are out there. And from college or from high school, and so many of them I see with the caps and the gowns and everything, especially going up to Dick's and getting their free hamburgers. It amazes me. So they'll take their cap and gown, dressed up in it, and then go to Dick's for a free hamburger. But it's a tradition has been for many years here in the beautiful environs of Seattle, and I hope it's a tradition that never stops. It's a wonderful thing. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for listening to our show, and we'll see you next Saturday morning if the Lord's willing, the creek don't rise. Thank you to everybody who helped put this together, and believe me, the Coke trip is something that you are definitely going to want to stick around to see. Take care of yourselves. Peace, love, Manischewitz, baby. What do I? Be good. Take care. Thank you. Bye.